think it was nearly 5 years as a team developing what the story would be about, how to bring the universe to life, and there are lots of different aspects to that.
My job was to work out what that story was, and what the content was, what the tone of these people were, and to put that on the screen and dramatise it, you know, the best way I could.
And one of the things we tried to do with this film is actually to zero in on what's really important about the world, which is the dedication, the courage, the valour, and the craft of war that's being explored in the universe. What happened is I was working with a writer who was a very accomplished screenwriter but didn't have the same depth of knowledge of the universe. And while I was doing that, I was reading Dan's books for reference, and it seemed really obvious that the next step is actually, well, let's get Dan and see if he can write a screenplay.
His dialogue was very specific to the Games Workshop world, and I thought that's what I thought was great.
I don't know if I'm a cult figure exactly for the Warhammer hobbyists, but I have written probably more novels for 40k than anybody else, and some of the series have been very, very successful indeed. I've had the privilege of starting certain series off, like the Horus Heresy novels.
I heard that Abnett was writing it, and I'm excited about that.
He's like my favourite author.
If it's going to be a movie production, it's going to be big, it's going to be bombastic, it's going to be explosions and action, then Abnett is your man.
There's a difference between script and story, and the story's very good, but as someone who reads a lot of scripts, I've read very few that have been as clear and as concise.
Dan Abnett did a fantastic job. First ever screenplay, and actually probably one of the most professional screenplay writers I've worked with.
That's a great responsibility, but enormously great fun, and it means that I get to go to games days around the world, and I get to meet an awful lot of people who've read these books and want to get their books signed, but also want to talk to me about it, and they want to find out how my mind works and whether I'm going to listen to the sorts of things that they have to say about, because you know they have a vested interest in this. They are participants in this universe, and I'm always interested to hear what people have to say. So it's great because you feed material back to them, and it comes back with all sorts of ideas, creatively speaking.